What's up, Internet? My name is High in Fiber, and there is a battle going on in the background, and unfortunately, I do not know who is it against. And if that person happens to be watching this and is like, "Hey, that's me," go ahead and leave a comment. I can link your channel and stuff like that. But I am not actually going to be narrating this battle. I call it a vlog kind of thing. There's going to be some channel updates here, which I'll probably get into at the end of the video. And this is just something that I've had on my mind for a while that I felt like I wanted to just say. And rather than getting some game footage of something else, I figured, you know what, I'll just do it to a battle and see how things go. A very good friend of mine does these kind of things with his Call of Duty commentaries where he never actually talks about them, which is one of the reasons why I love him. And, you know, why not, is the way I feel like it. There are a lot of people in this community who are around my age. I do feel like I am one of the older people in the community, but there are people, going through high school and going through that stage of life, and there are things on my mind that I just like to get off my chest, and I figure, what is better than the internet? Nobody really knows me. If they judge me, I don't care. You guys aren't necessarily people that I'm going to be meeting in my everyday life, and there are things in this video that I'm going to say that I don't share with a lot of people, just simply because I do get judged for some of the things that have happened in my life, and I don't want that stigma attached to who I am. I rather would be known for who I am today, rather than shit that I've gone through in the past, etc. And it's kind of been bothering me for a while, which is kind of why my life has taken the direction that it has right now, and I just want to get some stuff off my chest. Maybe I can help out some people out there, and if I can, great. That is absolutely fantastic. That is kind of why I wanted to do this as well. So let's jump into things. It's like 2 minutes into this video and I haven't said anything worthwhile. So some of you, if you've been subbed to me for a little while, or you watched the 2.5 Gamer podcast, you might know that a couple of months ago I moved to Vancouver. I used to live in Ontario, and I moved all the way across the country, and there's a couple of reasons for this. First and foremost, the place that I was staying at, they gave me a 30-day eviction notice because the condo corporation that owned the neighborhood was having some disputes with them, and rather than dealing with it, they just said, you know what, we're done with this, we're gonna leave, which put me in a very bad situation. I hadn't been working for the past couple months, but prior to that, because the restaurant that I was in lost a ton of business, and unfortunately I cost too much money to keep around, so they cut me, which was unfortunate, but it happens. So I ended up in this position where I had 30 days to find a new place, and the town that I was in, I wasn't very happy there. Job opportunities were non-existent. It was a very small town. There was really not a lot going on there, and really the only reason I moved there in the first place is I moved back to Canada from the United States. I lived down there for a little while, and I moved to Niagara Falls, and unfortunately I moved at a time where jobs were non-existent, and I had a friend in this small town called Woodstock who had a couch, and she said, you know what, I can help you out for a bit, come on over. And that's what I did. I stayed with her for about a month, and I ended up getting a job the next day after I moved there, and things were okay, but I wasn't something that I was content with. I wasn't happy. It was something that I just had to have happen. So I moved out there, and I was there for about a year and a half, and I lost my job, and now I was in this position where I lost my place to call home. And I just decided, you know what, I don't want to live in Woodstock anymore. I'm not happy. I just need to get up and go and do something else. And the places around me were not, again, something that I particularly wanted to do. Not a lot of decent opportunities in either of the smaller cities that were close by. So I thought about moving to Toronto. And I thought about it for a little while. Toronto is, in certain areas, a little bit more expensive than I could afford. And I didn't want to just hop and move to Toronto unless I had some sort of opportunity prior to that. And honestly, anybody who lives in Toronto, this is not meant to be an insult. I just don't like the city very much, and I just, don't want to move to Toronto. So what I decided to do is move all the way across the country out here to Vancouver. So I just packed up and I moved, and I took a huge risk doing so because all of the money that I had left went to that plane ticket and 1 month worth of rent, and that is all I had. And after that, I had to say, you know what, if I can't find a job in this month, I am fucked. I used to be homeless for about 2 years. I was on the streets. I was a hobo, and that is something that I have been marked with around people that I know. It's something that I have been judged for, and I don't want to be judged for that, but unfortunately, that is just the way my life went. I have been on my own since I was 14 years old. My parents and I do not speak, nor do I have any intentions of doing so. My parents were awful parents, and that is all I'm going to say about that, because I could spend the next 3 hours ranting about my family, but there's no point. So I had a month to basically hit that restart button on my life and try and do things the way I wanted to do them. I was fortunate enough to find a job very quickly, which I've been a cook for now about 2 years. It's not something that I particularly enjoy doing, to be completely honest, but it is something that I'm very good at, and I can find jobs very easily doing so, which is one reason I had no issue moving out to a bigger city, especially here in the Vancouver area, where there are a ton of culinary options. There's so much culture here compared to anywhere I've lived in the past. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it because it is a job and I can find one very quickly. And that was the case. I have a full-time job right now, and am I happy? No. My boss knows that. I have had conversations with it because he is well aware of the fact that my consistency at work does sort of fall off for a number of reasons. I do have some issues with depression, all based off things that have happened in the past, and I have a lot of self-doubt and things that just affect me mentally that kind of affect my workload. And the owner of the restaurant, he's very great. He's hands down the best boss I've ever had, which is one reason that I will stay at my job for a while, and he's very open to working with me. So he's just going to work with me to do the things that need to be done so that not only can I be the best line cook that I can be to keep his business growing, because before I got there, things were looking pretty bad, but between the fact that he got a experienced line cook, because the ones that were there were not experienced, and the fact that he has made some major changes to the kitchen and the menu, things have started to pick up, and it's great, and I'm very happy to be a part of this, because it's something that I have felt that I have had a direct, I don't even know the word right now, I have a direct effect on. I have cause and effect this restaurant to take a step up, and that's a sense of pride that I'm very happy with. But at the end of the day, I know that I don't want to be a cook. It's not something that I have a passion for, and if you want to be a cook, by all means, it's not a bad profession at all. And it's a noble profession, and it's something that if you're very good at, that's awesome. And I wish you the best of luck. It's just not for me. And I know what I want to do, but unfortunately, because I have been on my own since I was 14, I couldn't graduate from high school, which has made post-secondary a huge problem for me. I wasn't even able to think about it until I hit 21 years old, and now I'm in a position where I have an apartment, I have a full-time job to pay for this apartment, and as much as I'd like to go to school, it's not something I can do right now. And while I know what I want to do, I want to coach football. That is my dream profession, and it might seem odd to some of you, but I don't fucking care. Unfortunately, up here in Canada, the professional football season has already started, and while I have contacted the local team and just to see what I can do, whether they just say, hey, go volunteer at a high school, I've got like 6 high schools near me, I'm going to do it anyway, just because I want to get that experience, because I feel like that's a huge thing to get in that door. But regardless of that, I do know that there are a lot of people, going through high school right now, or maybe just graduated. They might be in that limbo stage. Anything that you want to do, just fucking go out and do it. Take the risk. I took a huge risk. I could have very well ended up homeless once again, but my life needed a restart. I physically had to do this. So that's what I did. I got on a plane, I moved out across the country, and I just said, can I do this? And I did, because I put my mind to it. I said, no, this has to change. My life has basically sucked, and a lot of it has been my own fault because I let things that have happened in the past affect me right now, and it's something that I have to fix. And whether that ends up meaning I have to go to a therapist or it's just something that I can personally work on, it has to happen. So that's what I'm going to do. But I did come out here. I did start that. I did get that first step by moving across the country. And, right now, life's not fantastic. I do currently live a little bit better than paycheck to paycheck, but I did have to put a bit more money than I was expecting to get my own place, and now I have to put furniture here. So there are some things that I'd like to get that I'm not going to be able to, but they're not necessities, so I'm okay with that. And I know that one day I'll be able to go to university, and I know what I want to do. I might be 22 years old, and I know that I'm not about to go look for another dead-end job that I may or may not enjoy, and that's a huge risk if I decide to leave my job. Yeah, if I have another job that it's not cooking, there's a good chance that I'll leave, whether it's I take that full-time or part-time and work 2 jobs. But I don't want to be put in a position where at 22 years old I am just working a job to work a job. Now, if there are people, I know there are people that I am close to that are in that situation, but they are currently in school trying to get their degree so that they can go and get their profession, which is fine. But, for me, at 22 years old, I don't want to just start doing a bunch of dead-end jobs. I want to get into that thing that I'm going to do the rest of my life. Because, when you're in high school or whatever, or in school in general, it's fine. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. Unfortunately, I didn't graduate high school, so now I'm in a position where I am a few years behind, and whether or not I can go into college/university is still to be seen. But if I can't, I do still have to find a way to find something that I love to do and do that for the next 30 years. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, what's the point, right? So that's kind of what I'm at right now, and I just wanted to let people know, because just do it. If there's something in your life that you don't like, change it. Because no matter what, you have that ability. You have that power. I hated my life. I didn't have a job. I didn't have my own place. I was renting a room. And I was miserable. So I moved. And, there are still things in my life that I need to fix. I need to get back in shape. I haven't been in shape since I was in high school. Quite frankly, I'm overweight. I'm fat. I can fix that. That is 100% on me. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to get back in shape, and the next thing I'm going to do is, fix up my apartment, because quite frankly I just have a bunch of stuff that was given to me, which is perfectly fine, but I want things that are mine, that I bought with my hard-earned money, and that's stage 2. And then stage 3, well, who knows? I mean, I don't really know many people, unfortunately. I haven't had that much opportunity to go out and meet people, but there are days when I could, and I need to make a better effort to do that, because I don't want to just move here and then end up being the same guy that I left behind in Ontario. I moved to get a new start, and that doesn't have anything to do with YouTube. That's never going to change, or I hope it'll never change. At the end of the day, the only thing that I would like to see happen with my channel is that it grows. And you know what? If I could one day get paid to be able to upload and do something that I generally love to do, that would be fantastic. This won't ever be a full-time job for me unless all of a sudden I blow up like Poppy Bros and I end up with like 100,000 subscribers, which A, is very unlikely to happen, and B, even if it does happen, it's not going to happen anytime soon. But even if I could just get $3 a month, whatever, just to be able to do something that I genuinely love to do, that's another step towards becoming happy, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Am I good at what I do? Yes. Do I enjoy it? No. And that is a huge problem for me, and I know that my boss can see it in my work, and I don't want to be anything better than the best that I can be. And at the end of the day, nobody wants to be anything less than the best that they can be. And you just have to go out and do the things that you need to do to get to that point. If you're not happy, change something. If you you're at the end of your high school days, you hate your town, go out, find a college that you can go to, that you can afford, obviously, that's not at home. Whether even if it's just an hour down the road at some other city, that's fine. It's a change. It's something that you can do, that you have full control over. But don't do anything stupid. Don't decide like I did to fly across the country. If you can't physically do something, then don't do it. But don't hold back because you have doubts. Just take a risk, go for it, because at the end of the day, every person has the capability to do anything that they want. And if anything, I'm still proving that to myself. And I just felt like, you know what? I want to share this with you guys, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm sure that there's been a black screen here for a couple minutes. For that, I do apologize. But, I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. And, you know what? Maybe you learned a little bit more about me than you knew in the past. That's great. That's awesome. And, you know what? I am much happier today than I was 2 months ago. And 2 months from now, I will be happier than I am today, because I have to put that effort out to do that. So that is kind of what I wanted to say. So now let me talk a quick little bit about updates and stuff, because I'm here, might as well. First off, I don't battle with any people. There's a reason for this. Don't really know where anybody goes anymore, and quite frankly, I don't really care to know almost. I'm back into this whole Pokemon thing, and I enjoy it, and that's the whole reason I came back to it. Was I got bored of the metagame for a little while, and other things happened that just a lot of stuff that was happening in real life. Work was kind of affecting things. I was in a really bad state of mind. But you know what? Much like Cloud's Liberation, doing this brings a sense of happiness to me, so I'm going to keep doing it. And I mostly right now I just battle friends, but I can stream, I can do all this stuff, but at the end of the day, I do have long periods of time where I don't have anything to upload. So what I'm going to do is, rather than doing Facebook or whatever, because quite frankly, I don't really use my personal Facebook that much anymore. I'm on Facebook a lot, but it's mostly just as a chatting tool. So what I think that I'm going to do is that I'm going to do the Google Plus thing. This way I don't have to make anything new, because I already have a Google Plus because I have a YouTube account. And I do feel like Google Plus is kind of becoming more popular, and I do know that there are some things that you're going to be able to do with it. And you know what? I figured, let's just do it. So I'm going to use my Google Plus account that is attached to this YouTube channel as a means to find battles with me. There'll be a link down there in that description box, and I'll post on there if I feel like battling. Just go ahead and check it out. I'll probably post on Twitter as well. I do need to use that a bit more. So between those two things, you can find battles. Google Plus might end up becoming a place where we do the podcast. I have to do some testing with that, just because I feel like that can give us that opportunity to use face cams that people like, and it would still allow us to do live callers, which is something that we didn't particularly want to get rid of, but something we might have had to do. Don't know for sure yet. That is something that we're going to have to do some testing of. Speaking of the podcast, I really don't know when we're going to do another one, and for that I do apologize. Right now, nobody's schedule is lining up properly, and I actually haven't seen MBZ in like 4 days, so can't really schedule something when a third of the team isn't there. And of course he's going to log on and be like, I wasn't anywhere, I was at home. Doesn't matter if you're home, if you're not on Skype, I can't talk to you. Blah! So yes, I am closing in on like 20 minutes right now, and I'm kind of really out of things to say. So yeah, Google Plus is probably where you can find me. I don't know how it works, whether there's like a friend system. I know there's like circles and stuff, but you know what? I want to feel like I want to get to know this Google Plus thing anyway. So I do want to use that as the means to do my battling and such. Just because, again, it's already linked to my account. It's there. I might as well use it. And I don't give out my personal Skype, and I don't particularly feel like making another one. If you do happen to find me on Skype, if I don't know you, odds are I'm not going to accept it, and I don't mean that to be rude. It's just that is my personal Skype, and I don't want to be spammed with messages or things of that nature from people wanting to battle. I usually use it to talk with people that I feel like talking to, or I'm on it for League of Legends stuff, etc. As far as my League of Legends stuff goes, it's still going to come out. If you don't enjoy League of Legends, I do apologize, but it has taken a back burner. It used to be the thing that I only uploaded. Now I do alts, and now it's kind of League and Pokemon, and I'm probably going to do other stuff too. But for now, Pokemon's going to be the main focus. I do enjoy it, and I do feel like that is the thing that is going to help me grow the most, just because most of my subs sub to me because of Pokemon. And unfortunately, with things like League of Legends, it's very hard to jump into things now that it has become such a popular game, unless I do something drastic like my I'm a Bear video, which, while it was great that I hit 30,000 views on a video, don't really know how to do it again. But that'll be it for me, because now we're at like 22 minutes and I have nothing else to say. I do, but I'm forcing myself to stop. So Google Plus, 2.5 Gamers, who knows when, updates on my Google Plus and Twitter whenever I fucking get them. And Cloud's Liberation's back, guys. I did that. That was me. So you should, if you don't know who he is, you should go check him out. His link will be below as well. And yeah, that is about it. So I will talk to you guys later. I apologize for like the 20 minutes of black screen, but got nothing else to say. So I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.